Welcome back to Inspired Alchemy's Raw and Unfiltered with Lizzie. This is episode 2, and we're talking about authenticity, something we probably will talk about a lot because that's actually my word for this year. So I was asked, how do you stay in your authenticity? How do you know how you're being authentic if you don't even know who you are at that time, right? So the soundbite that's going to come after this is what I recorded raw. But when I was in the shower, as shower things happen, right, I came up with a little list of things. And I said previously, I'm not really good at telling how to do the things because I've always really done them. So I'm getting better at doing that. But I wanted to give this little list before it goes into the actual soundbite that I recorded as the answer. So quickly, how do I stay, or how have I gotten to the point that I've gotten to? I am making sure I'm taking care of myself. I'm learning how to love myself for who I am in each moment. And by doing that, I'm stepping into my authenticity, even if it's little tiny steps. It's speaking my truth, even if my voice shakes. It's doing the things that bring my soul joy and how I feel authentic, even if it doesn't make sense to anybody, even if it upsets people, because we're going to upset people regardless. It's not my intention to ever upset anybody. It's not my intention to ever hurt anybody. But at the same time, people are going to see you how they're going to see you, and they're going to misunderstand you regardless. So another thing that I do is doing things scared. That's how I've gotten through so much, is just going, even though I don't feel ready, this feels right and I'm scared, but I'm going to say it or I'm going to do it anyways. And it can be something as small as posting a reel that I wouldn't have normally posted, or sharing something I wouldn't normally share because I'm scared it's going to hurt somebody or offend somebody. Never my intention or how they're going to view me, right? So, simple little things. Knowing and staying in your authenticity, like I said, might not make sense at the time, not to you, not to anybody else, but it feels right. And so you have to continue to take those steps. Buy that dress. You'll know what I'm talking about when you hear the soundbite. Put that bikini on. Do whatever it is that's making you feel like you're staying true to yourself. And again, these things might not make sense, but when you look down the road after you've been doing this for a while, you'll go, oh, yeah, that's why, right? So the other thing that I started doing, and this was over a year ago, when I really wanted to start getting into trusting myself and my intuition and feeling in my body. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of energy work and things like that for a while, but I really started doubling down on, actually it was like 2 years ago now, going, okay, which way should I drive home? And trusting all of these little nuances that I felt within my body. And each time I trusted it, it led me to the next thing that was authentic for me. And although this might not make sense, it kind of makes sense as you keep going, right? Just trusting into my intuition, trusting in my body, learning to love myself, speaking my truth, and just doing the things that I feel called to do is how I've stayed in my authenticity and how I continue to as I grow. Does that mean that I'm not scared? No. A lot of the time I am scared, but I continue to do the things because my goal is to be the most authentic, most whole version of myself. And so I do believe, because authenticity is coming up a lot, it is my word for this year. It's actually my word for life now. I do believe that there'll be a lot more talks when it comes to that. So I hope that this next bite makes sense. It's just kind of me rambling as I do. Hopefully it'll help. Until then, thank you so much for listening. Okay, so the next question I'm going to answer, because it was asked right after somebody heard me post my first episode. And it's, how do I show up authentically when I don't know who that is? And the simplest answer I can give is to start taking those small steps. Try things out. Do you want to dress a certain way? Try it out. If it feels like you and you feel good in it, great. That's in your authenticity at the time. If you don't feel great, awesome. You don't need to worry about it. We're here to play. You know what I mean? So you try another thing. If there's something that you want to try out, let's say it's pole, or let's say it's a dance class, or let's say it's a cooking class, right? Try the things out and see what fits. Maybe cooking class, you have like this whole beautiful idea of cooking, and then you get in the cooking class and you're like, yeah, no, I don't think this is for me. I don't like it. Not to say that it won't ever be authentic to you, but at that particular moment, it's not, right? And maybe you are scared to try pole class and you're like, oh, I'm going to hate this. I'm going to hate being on pole, but I'm going to try anyways, right? Because something in you is nudging you and you want to challenge yourself. And then you actually love it. You friggin' love it. And you're shocked, right? So taking tiny little steps, trusting your intuition. That's how I started. I started by playing with my intuition and going, what should I do next? Even if it was like, how should I drive home? And so playing with these different things is the short of how I started to develop into more authentic version of myself, right? Because there was a time where I had no idea who that was. I was everybody, like I've said before, I was everything to everyone except for myself. And that's nobody's fault. It's not, there's no blame here. But sometimes we just get so wrapped up in things. And then I wanted so badly to be a good mom. And so I went down this path where I thought this is who I had to be. And one day I woke up and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is not, dressing like this is not me. These things in my home, that's not me, right? It wasn't anybody who lived here. And so I appreciate the patience of everybody who has watched me grow and evolve and change so often in order to find out who I actually am. I am the closest to being the most whole I have ever been in my life. And that is because all of these little nudges I've followed. When you don't feel like you can show up authentically because you don't know what that is, what is it for you in that moment? Is it showing up with a messy bun on social media and not caring what you look like? Or is it putting on a full face of makeup and feeling beautiful, right? Is it in your authenticity to post videos of you dancing crazy? Or is it in your authenticity at that moment to post something slow and meaningful, right? It's following our intuition and it's following our inner compass. And sometimes those things that we feel are going to be most authentic, they are so hard. I don't want to say hard because I'm trying to use different vocabulary. They are, because words are spells. They are challenging, right? It's not always going to be the easy thing that's the most authentic for you. But as soon as you do it, you're like, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't so bad. And I actually kind of liked it. And that actually kind of felt like me. So showing up authentically is just, how do you feel in that moment? Do you feel silly? Do you feel serious? Are you feeling emotional? Or are you aware that you're bypassing emotion, right? So it's all of these little things that kind of come together. It's not just one thing. It's not just I need to get better at listing things because I've kind of always just done things, right? And I get asked a lot, like, what's your blueprint? Like, what did you do? And because I've always been very growth oriented and driven, it's kind of hard for me to kind of answer those questions, which again, I need to get better at. So the easiest way for me to explain it is, like I said, show up. Just show up for yourself. Show up and go, what do I feel like in this moment? Do I feel like wearing pink pants? Because if that is what's going to make you feel good and in your authenticity, then you do it, right? If it's like, oh, I want to wear a bikini to the beach, then do it. If that is how you feel good and what makes you feel most like you, because you'll feel it. You'll feel those pings inside of you that you're like, oh, this feels like me. This feels good, right? My most recent thing is I went to Goodwill. We love thrifting, my daughter and I. And so I went to Goodwill, and I follow this guy. I just started following him on social media. And I'm like, I actually kind of love him. And he is just like this outwardly happy yet loud kind of person. And he loves black and gold and all that stuff. And I was at Goodwill and I saw this dress and I'm like, oh my God, that looks, I think I'm going to try that on, right? Not something I ever would have tried on for myself. But it felt fun and it felt like me. And so I wasn't expecting to like it when I put it on. And then I put it on and I'm like, oh, this actually feels really good. And I know that I can dress it up in a more like gothy type way, because I do love all of the dark stuff. If you've been following me for a while, you know that. So it's like this gold and red and white and black dress. It's kind of like a Versace pattern. And I love it, right? And it goes perfectly with these shoes that I bought for myself last year that I never would have bought for myself, that are open toe platform, because I don't really wear open toed shoes. So they're open toe platform with a little gold chain and they just match perfectly. And I was like, okay, and I tried it on together with a corset over top of it and all that stuff. And it felt like me and it felt good and it felt authentic. And that moment, maybe it does. Maybe a year from now it won't when I grow. And that's the thing about authenticity is, yes, you have this version of you that always is, but you're constantly growing and burning down and being reborn as a phoenix and all of these kind of things, right? So your authenticity is every little step that you take to feel more like you. And in that moment, you might be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but your soul knows. I would love to come up with some kind of like easier way to explain this, but right now, again, this is all messy. None of this is pre-thought out, really. So that's my answer. Just be you. Do what makes you happy in that moment. Eat what makes you happy. Wear what makes you happy. And it's not even just happy. It's you'll feel it inside. You'll feel when you put something on that you're like, yeah, that feels like me. Or when you eat something and you're like, oh yeah, like my soul really loves that, right? Obviously we have to eat healthy and stuff. We can't just like, oh, my soul wants cookies all the time. And if you eat cookies all the time, I'm not shaming. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm pretty sure I'm really hoping that this comes through like it's supposed to, or as I intend it to. So just keep taking the steps. Excuse my cat. I guess he said yes, this is the case. I will try to come up with an easier way to explain this and maybe put it in writing or something like that. But that's my answer of how I've gotten to where I'm at. I just keep following my next yes. I just keep taking the next small step, because all those small steps lead up to big things. You don't have to take a big step in your direction of authenticity, right? Just keep taking the small steps until you really get to where you want to be. And I never thought that I would be in a place where I could really say that I really love the woman that I am becoming. And a lot of people might not take that well, but it's taken me walking through fire to get to this point. And again, I'll share more of my story as this goes on, but it's walking through the fire, taking those small steps to get to where you really feel like you and where you really feel whole. And it doesn't have to make sense to everybody else. It just needs to make sense to you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I really hope that this helps you and that I might be posting something else in regards to this if I get a better kind of like wording of what I want. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have an amazing day.